jumping in, I want to figure out, is this my website performant? Well, let's see what's going on here. I've got 1,000 things here. That's a lot. And it kind of took a few seconds to load. Let's just see here. If I click add new, what's going to happen? 2, 3, 4. We're waiting. Boy, this is really slow. So this delay is a huge concern, right? Because I clicked it, it pressed the button in, and now we're waiting. And we might end up waiting quite a while. There, it finally finished. So that took, what, 10 or 15 seconds? That's not good. Let's try to figure out why that is. And I'm going to suggest one easy way to do that is we just want to add some profiling in here. And quick and dirty profiling, I'm going to create an abstract base component, and I'll show you how to work with that. So right up here, I'm just going to do it up here. Let's go ahead and add a new item. And in fact, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hit Shift F2. This is the Add New File extension. If you haven't downloaded the Add New File extension, I highly recommend it. It's a lot faster than using the Visual Studio way. So I just want to call it profiled re-render component base. And I'm naming it that because component base is the base class of all components in Blazor. And here we've got this thing, and I'm going to make it inherit from component base, which is simply the Blazor. All components in Blazor are based on that. So I'm going to just inherit from that, and then we can go from here. I'm going to hit Control Dot to bring up, actually I have ReSharper on right now, but even if you don't, Visual Studio will bring up and let you include that automatically using that now. And so now I've got a bona fide abstract components. You notice there's no markup here. It's only a C# class. And if I go back to my tile, which this is the component I suspect is rendering a lot. Let's profile this guy. I'm going to say inherits from that profile re-render component base. And I hit Control S to save. And you notice I get this. Do you want to restart your app? And you almost always say always. Well, of course, if I made a change that I want to see, I want to be able to restart my app, rebuild it if necessary, and .NET Watch will do that for you. So now it's reloading automatically. I don't have to manually build. I don't have to manually reload. And we can see the results of what I just did. Boy, this is really slow. Okay, Blazor's too slow. I can't use it. It's ridiculous. Really, is that the truth? Well, let's find out here. Now that that's working, I've inherited from this. It was no change in behavior. I'm going to add just some very basic. I'm going to make this an abstract class so you can't instantiate it directly. Here's a very basic profiling method. And so Blazor gives you the ability to override just a few methods. And so on after renders one of them. It's going to run every time the component renders. And this will then allow us to see how many times it's rendered. Basically render done, and then we'll just see that in the console. So let's just let this load again. And wow, it sure is taking a long time. Maybe this will give us some insight as to why. And I notice it built automatically, it reloaded automatically. So I just want to emphasize that's the hot reload. You can get that in any .NET, not just Blazor. So go for it if you don't have it. Give it a shot. All right, so render done. You notice your browser gives you how many repeats there are, right? You're not going to, it's basically printed this line 1,000 times. Well, that makes sense. I've got 1,000 products that had to render this 1,000 times. But if you'll notice, I can only see 9 or 12 products at once on the screen. Why is it rendering 1,000 of them? Well, the very simple reason is it doesn't know that you don't need those. It doesn't know that you don't need more than that. So that's what I'm going to get into next. But here you see how easy it is to make a plain old C# class as an abstract based component. And if you do, you'll be able to inherit that in any component you want and get that behavior to just automatically take hold in every component. Because I'm inheriting here, every time it renders, it's going to run that code and thus print out this line. So that's an abstract base component.